What's up, everybody? This is Master Gamer, and we just got the hero trailer for the new upcoming Season 2 hero, who we now know a bit more about, but unfortunately, only a bit. We at least know her name, though, which is Sierra. So she is indeed not Frankie, the Deadlock member that there was a lot of speculation surrounding that she would be the new upcoming hero. No, this is an entirely different character, unrelated to Frankie, save for the fact that Sierra is indeed part of Helix security and is in fact fighting against Deadlock to keep them from raiding the Grand Mesa facility. But beyond that, not the same character at all. However, as for who Sierra is, beyond being a Helix security member and tangentially affiliated with Overwatch, we don't really know. The hero trailer was the typical modern style of hero trailers, where it's the sort of cel-shaded cinematic. This is how Blizzard has been doing new hero trailers for a while at this point, and this one in particular showcases her fighting off against Emre and Freya, who are raiding the Grand Mesa facility. We don't really learn much about her beyond seeing her engage with these two and basically get her ass handed to her, but we do at least get a little insight into what her likely abilities are going to be in the fight scene we see here. So let's go ahead and break down what exactly we see Sierra doing. So first and foremost, we see her scaling the side of a canyon at the very start. I don't think this is necessarily indicative of her having a wall climb mechanic, but she might actually, especially considering the first actual ability we seem to see her use here, which is her own personal jetpack cat. Yeah, she can just sort of deploy her drone, tether to it, and then at the very least glide using it as a sort of little like paraglider mechanic, if not be able to straight up fly with it. We actually see her do this a couple times in the trailer, so I think it's pretty safe to say this will be part of her kit. And in terms of being a movement ability, it probably is going to be pretty fun to use, gliding around, hanging from your drone, possibly even being able to shoot from it, as we see her do here. So I'm certainly eager to see how and if this is indeed an actual mechanic of her kit. Beyond that, we get some look at her primary fire, which does appear to be a rapid fire of some degree. Again, we don't know if there's multiple firing mechanisms she has, perhaps a primary and an alternate fire that are different, a la Widowmaker or Sojourn. All we know is that she looks to have a very Sojourn-like hit scan with the rifle, along with a tracking shot. Now, this is probably the most interesting mechanic we actually see featured here in this cinematic, which is that she tags Emre with this little purple tracker dart, basically, that looks to actually have multiple effects. So first and foremost, we can see after he gets tagged by it, projectile shots actually seem to arc toward him once he's tagged. I don't know if this is going to be a second separate activated ability after you initially tag someone, or if her just primary fire shots are going to start tracking once some target is tagged. But either way, there is a sort of homing mechanic, it looks like, following up the landing of the tracking shot. An interesting mechanic that we really don't have in-game at the moment. And again, I'm curious to see how this will actually work in the game itself, and may even have an AoE explosion effect on top of that as we see it exploding after it hits Emre. However, at the end of the cinematic, we also see that after Emre and Freya escape and she recalls her little drone, she actually seems to be tracking them, presumably through that same said tracker she tagged Emre with, which means there also might be a recon mechanic tied to it. Perhaps once you tag someone, you get infrasight on them, or at least some sort of indicator as for where they are on the map, giving her an almost sort of like bounty hunter type mechanic to help keep tabs on whatever given enemy you've tagged. Again, this also might very well just be a part of the cinematic to just fit into the story context being shown here, but I think it's likely that we see something like this manifest in one way or another when it comes to her actual gameplay. Beyond this though, we really don't get much in terms of her kit and abilities. I think it's safe to say we're looking at least two activated abilities here, being the tracking shot with the follow-up arcing projectiles, and the drone glide mechanic, and then possibly a wall climb on top of that. But other than that, I don't know if we see her ultimate being used here at all. Maybe the tracking shot is an ultimate if it really has multiple functions and is super effective as a mechanic, or maybe these are just her base abilities and her ultimate is yet to be seen. Either way though, it is also worth noting that this cinematic does give us a at least small degree of story advancement, as we not only see Talon actually making progress with whatever sort of objective they have here at Grand Mesa, but also a bit more insight into what they're stealing, which appears to be a case containing something that appears to be getting colder as time goes on, and in fact the dropping temperature of it prompts Emre to hurry up and leave, basically. So not sure what exactly they're teasing here. Maybe this is something that'll play into a bigger story beat later, or perhaps even a newer hero later down the line for all we know. But whatever it is, I do expect to see it elaborated on more once the season actually starts and as the season goes on, since we do know the focus of Season 2 is likely to heavily be Deadlock and the whole Grand Mesa facility. Perhaps we even get another Conquest-style event where it's Deadlock versus Helix, now that we seem to have characters actually in place set up to make that dynamic work. But either way, just to wrap up the discussion of this hero trailer, yeah, it was very short. I was hoping that we would actually get some gameplay revealed of the new hero in the trailer today, in-game gameplay footage, not just her abilities being featured in a cinematic, or at least more insight and information about who she is, what she does, all that stuff, but instead we basically just get this, a very quick, very succinct little cinematic where in the cinematic itself, we don't even learn her name. We're just told that her name is Sierra in the title of the trailer. So, yeah, I don't know. In terms of hero trailers and excitement for upcoming new heroes, I gotta say, this is one where I don't think Blizzard is doing a particularly good job of building up hype for her. I don't know. We'll see how she plays in-game once she actually releases in Season 2, which again, will be starting this coming Tuesday. So be sure to stay tuned for that. I'm sure there'll be more trailers and information on the new season coming out in the days ahead. So be sure to stay tuned to my channel where I'll be covering all the new information and content as it gets announced. If you haven't seen it already, I did do a video earlier breaking down everything we can expect to be coming content-wise in Season 2. I'll have that video linked in the cards on screen, and otherwise, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Sierra in the comments down below. Are you excited to try her out? Are you interested in learning more? Do you like her design? And are you enticed by the abilities we have teased here in her hero trailer? As always, be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe. Hit up that bell icon, follow me on X, and join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any of my future Overwatch 2 news streams and other content. I do stream Overwatch every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday right here on my YouTube channel, as well as on Twitch. So I hope to see you tuning in, and otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.